Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So thank you so much for your subscriptions. Oh, the number of people who have subscribed have really risen. I do not know if there are people who have watched the videos for lawyers or there are people who are interested in the personal finance. Well, you will know that I've always talked about money in some way anyway, be it how much do solicitors earn, how much do barristers earn, how much do you earn as a paralegal and all of that. So I've always wanted to talk about money. I'm not going to be talking about money from a big stance. So I'm not going to be telling you how to invest in index funds and all of that. I will go into all of that and I'll tell you what my practical knowledge is. But I am not a financial advisor. Even in my role as a lawyer, I'm not allowed to give financial advice on where people should invest, what they should invest in. But on this channel, one thing you will find is just a friendly chart. It's a chart that you can relate to. It's just me telling you how I've saved money in the past because I do have that gift of savings. Yes, I know, because from personal experience, I've saved monies that people will basically, just open their mouths and be very shocked at because I tend to save not necessarily for the rainy day, but I do not feel the need to always spend money. So I save money. So as I have gone by, I have found that we have saved money to buy various things. And now I'm more interested in generational wealth. So it's not just saving money to be comfortable, but it's now saving money for our children to be comfortable as well, and just really teaching them personal finance so that they can then teach their relatives and their children and the rest of our generations. So I say, when it comes to personal finance and saving money, it's not something that only you as a person should think about. You need to think about it. If you have brothers, sisters, children, you need to teach them about money. We teach our children money. And I know that in the past I've talked about little things that we do with our children. And because we have a lot of friends basically saying to us, how do you get your children to this level where they are so content with, having what they have? I've mentioned here and there that we don't necessarily set out to buy designer things for our children. We just want our children to be comfortable and to be content. So if there is a Nike shoe and there is a need to buy a Nike shoe, then we're buying it. I'm not going to buy my child, a shoe that is not a rugby shoe just because I want to save money. Then I buy, a shoe from Primark or wherever. If there's a rugby shoe, it costs a lot of money. And I know that it's going to protect their feet. It's going to protect their knees. It's going to last longer, help them in the sports that they play. And because they're very tall, they wear very big size shoes. I'm not going to be looking for shoes just in one shop that sells reduced stuff just because I want to save money. So it's buying, useful things when they are useful. And if it does happen that we buy a shoe from Asda or from Tesco, I don't have a problem with that as well. So the children know that they don't have to expect Nike or Jordan Air. Is that what it's called now? They don't have to expect Jordans every other day. They don't have to have Nike or every other day. Whatever it is that they have, they are content. And that's the way that we've raised our children. If they sit before kings, they're happy. They know how to speak. They know how to act. If they sit before those that are not kings, I don't want to use the word poor, but they are able to adjust anyway. And that's the way that we have been raised as well. So today I just want to talk about how to save your income, because many videos will tell you about how to invest in index funds and all of that. I've not necessarily been the best investor, and that's something that I would have a chat with you about, because I have really lost a lot of money just because we have saved a lot of money and not necessarily invested. But at some point, I would be quite open as to how saving money has saved us money rather than, just putting money into investment and in the long run, not saving money. All right. So the first thing I would say is create a budget. I am not one person who sits down to create a budget. I've never sat down to say, this is what I'm going to use for this is what I'm going to use for that, this is what I'm going to use for this. But if you're someone who finds that you overspend, you want to create a budget. I do not overspend. So for me, abstinence always works. I think I've said this in a previous video, but I think most of my friends actually say that, and that's where those words have come from. People just tend to say that I love to abstain. Like, I would rather not do something. So for me, it's all or nothing. If I want to save money, like, that money will never see the light of day. It would just be where it is, which is not always a good thing, like I said, because I've not been good at investing, meaning that it is possible that we have lost money in the long run. But then, because we've been able to save money, we've been able to use the saved money for things that in the long run save money. I will speak about that in other videos. So, number one, create a budget. If you love to overspend, if you're buying 10 skirts that you don't need, you need to, like I said, wear your wardrobe. And this is a shout out to my sister who listened to my video and had positive things to say about the fact that I said to wear your wardrobe. Like, look in your wardrobe. Do you know that since I started making these videos, every time I want to buy a new skirt or a new trouser, I just basically say, listen, you need to wear your wardrobe. And I go look at my wardrobe and I'm like, how do I even have all of these skirts? And I'm still thinking about something else. So create a budget. If you don't need a new skirt should not be on your budget. If you're buying too much food, because for some of us, it's too much food. It's buying so much food and actually chucking it away, or just ordering food and not really looking at the final bill. If you're buying Chinese of £100 and you're just two people who live at home and you're eating that in one day, or you're having some of it and chucking it in the bin, come on now, what's happening? I used to work in this place where people used to just buy food for buying sake. So during the break time, someone would just order a whole platter of something. It would come, delivery would come through, and then they would just have a beat, and then they would chuck in the bin, and it just felt like some kind of contest. It's like, I'm going to show you that I can buy food. I don't have to eat all of it. I'm just going to eat a bit of it, and I'm going to hit the gym, and the rest is in the bin. And I just couldn't, wrap my head around it. So I do understand when, parents used to teach us to finish the food on our plates. And I know that led to some of us being, obese, just basically because we will eat things that, we will eat everything on our plate. But for my parents, it was different. It wasn't just eat everything on your plate. It was more have on your plate what you can finish, which is what I do with my children. If you cannot finish food, why is it on your plate? It's different from putting so much food on the plate and then saying to the child, you have to eat all of that, because that's how some people, then have a bad food habit. They have problems with food, and without using the A word or the B word, people can have very bad experiences with food. But then it's just really living within your means and not being bothered about what other people are doing. And that's one thing for me. So I'm always content. And that's the message I want to pass across. There is always someone who is richer than you. There's always someone who is poorer than you. So sometimes when I want to make this video, I just think, oh my God, when I make this video, it might just come across like I'm saying, you have to be rich. You have to have so much money. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's so many people who reach out to me and say, oh, can I have this? Can I have that? And I'm looking and I'm thinking, yes, and here you go, here you go, here you go. But it gets to a point where you think, I don't know why people think I have all of this money. It is true that I save money, but you can save money as well. So it might be that you're doing it the wrong way. Because sometimes even when you give people stuff, you now see the way that they've used it. I'm not saying when you give people money, you want to police how they've used it, but you can see a pattern in maybe a family member. I'm not saying my family members. You can see a pattern in family members or with friends, or, even when you give, people, I don't want to say homeless people, but when you give people things, sometimes it's best for you not to think about how they use it, because it might not be the same way that you would use it. So if I gave a beggar £20, if I'm led to give them, I never turn around to find out what they use it for, because they might just go and have their next joint or, the next class A that they can find. So you have to be led. And then sometimes, like someone will ask you for a favor, rather than say, please, can I have £10 to buy a meal? They will say something like, I want £10 because I want to put it towards an iPhone, whatever it is that people have these days. And you're thinking, that's not really a need, because I don't even have the iPhone 50 or whatever it is that you're buying. Do you get my point? So I think people just need to live within their means. So create a budget, and in your budget, if you go above your budget by 10%, I think you've done well, until we get to that point where you're just like me, you're abstaining from saving. Next one is manage a debt. This is the one I don't get. Like, you're owing and you are still borrowing. No, why don't you take that £10 to pay off your debt? If your debt is £50 and you have £10 for that Chinese food, I'm sorry, but the way I was brought up, that £10 is definitely going towards my debt, because I'm not sleeping until I pay who I owe. And that's one thing my parents used to say: when we die, don't think that we're owing anyone, because we are not owing anyone. And I know that for sure. And that's how I live my life. I don't owe anyone. Like, I don't want to owe you. I don't want to owe you. I don't even like when I buy stuff and someone says, oh, this is £10, but give me £5 today and bring £5 tomorrow. For me, it's like, what am I buying? It's not like I'm buying air. It's not like I need to breathe with this, whatever you're giving to me. So don't worry. I will go away. I get my £10 and I come back. And if I don't have £10, goodbye. I don't have to think about something that I cannot afford. So manage your debt. Use the money that you would use to buy those things that are outside your budget, those things that are not needs. Use that money to pay off your debt. Then set saving goals. And do not set them too high. I talked about this in one of my videos. Like, you can say, I'm going to save £40 this month. And do you know that once you manifest something, once you say it out loud, you do it. The Bible says that you should write it. And, you should basically follow what you've written. So it's like you're speaking out loud. So it's not you saying I will save £100 when I owe £100,000. It's you saying I would save £10 for an emergency fund, not £10 to go and buy another skirt that you don't need. Does that make sense? So set yourself saving goals. I do have a lot of people who come and work in the office, and you just see when they get paid, people just want to buy stuff. Just buy. And most times it's because they see other people having stuff. But one thing I found is, like they say, an older person will have more rags than you. So if I worked in an office where someone was 40 and I was 20, the 40-year-old will have jewelry that I cannot afford. That's the way I see it. They're going to have gold. They're going to have proper silver. I might just be starting with costume jewelry. And that's fine. I don't have to have something that a married woman has when I'm just single. I don't have to have something that... I don't know why people found it funny in my other video when I said sugar daddy. But if you have a sugar daddy and they buy you Gucci rings every day, I cannot, be looking at you. That's a waste of my time, because... one, you are losing because whatever it is that you're giving your sugar daddy. So I've spared myself that pain and anguish, do you get what I mean? So at the end of the day, I might not have the gold jewelry that you have, but I shouldn't be comparing myself to you and wanting the things that you have, because I cannot give what you're giving to get what you have. My peace of mind is very important, my life as I live it. I want to be at peace, and I mean peace in my spirit, peace in my body, and peace in my soul. And I feel like I want to say this to a lot of people. Like, stop looking at Instagram and other people and just wanting the lives that they have, because you don't know how they get that life. It might be that they work so hard for that life. So why don't you think about working very hard for that life rather than just wishing that you had things that other people have? You don't have them. So just set yourself saving goals. Adjust your spending. That's something that I have done. I do not spend a lot, but like I said in my other videos, I spend on clothes. And I don't know why that is. I kind of like have an idea of why that is. And that's one. When I was growing up, I used to say, oh, when I have that money, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy that. And it was more so because, I like to create. So if you gave me a shirt, I was already thinking about cutting off the sleeves, making it longer, putting a belt, designing my own stuff. So I used to think, all right, then I will buy this with a belt. I'll buy this without the belt. I'll buy this in red. I'll buy that in black. And then when I started making money, I found I started buying things. I've got big feet. I started buying more shoes because I thought, oh, maybe I would never find this in my size. So let's buy it. Let's put it down. And that's how my dad used to buy for us anyway. He used to buy loads of shoes because I at least had big feet. My brother used to tease me and say, the carpenter was going to make your shoes. So imagine when we found my size, my dad would just buy loads. So I started buying like that. But now I adjust my spending. I don't need those things. And, even if I feel like I need them, there are other things that I can use money for, which is where I'm at now. It's really saving money for bigger things than just buying the same things and just upsetting myself with so much. Yeah. Now, track your spending. Some people don't track their spending. They're just spending without really thinking. And then at the end of the month, they're like, oh, what did I spend on? And then when the letters come through the door, they're like, why on earth did I buy X, Y, Z? I didn't need it. I actually need money, for the children's school fees. I actually need money to buy better food for the children to eat, books for them, pay for tutoring. So track your spending, set saving goals, manage a debt, create a budget. Another thing to do is to compare savings accounts online. I've never done it. I've always had the same account. I've always had a Halifax and HSBC. I used to have a HSBC and then I changed that. It's just been me just chucking money into one account and just leaving it there. It's not helpful. So the last 2 days, I've been comparing savings accounts online. And I do know that with the Halifax, I opened a second account where it was a savings account. But when I checked at the end of about 3 years, I think I saved my savings were like 2p up, something crazy like that. And I was like, how on earth did you get there? And, I'm now looking into fixing money because I found I can save money and not touch it. So I'm fixing money. And I remember talking to my sister and she was saying to me, you can actually fix money. And I was like, ooh, I had no idea. So I spoke to my mom and my mom was like, yeah, you can save money. So my mom helped me to fix money, which my mom basically looks after. And if I have any money at all with my mom, because I do buying and selling, my mom puts it into the fixed account. And I do know that the last time I looked at that account, I was like, whoa, because this is money that churns every 90 days. So if you have that kind of money, you want to start thinking about fixing money rather than just keeping it in the savings account that does nothing. And I have lost a lot of money not comparing savings accounts, not investing. And so this year, like I said to you, I'm going to be investing, save for retirement. When I was younger, I never cared about retirement. And I know that a lot of my clients, because I'm a family lawyer, so when I deal with their financial remedy matters, if you don't know what that is, that's when two people who are married are splitting. Or sometimes two people who are unmarried, are splitting. They're going to sell a house. And let's talk about the married ones because they are the ones that really split inequality. We start from equality, which is 50% first, which is in line with the English rules. So say, for instance, people are going their separate ways and one of them's got a pension of, let's say, £200,000 and the other one doesn't have a pension. I'll be looking at getting at least 50% off the person who has. So say my client has no pension, I'm looking at taking 50% of the other person's pension and making it my client's pension. And you normally hear clients, and this is quite a reoccurrence, they say, what do I need a pension for? I don't want a pension, I want it in money. Like I said, I'm not giving you financial advice, but when you hit like 30, 40, 50, I think you now need to start thinking, what's going to happen to my retirement? Like, state's pension is not going to cut it. So it's really saving for retirement. Anyway, these are ways to save your income. We'll talk about ways to bring in an income. I'm not the best to say, go do this job, that job, this is going to increase. What I would just say is find a way to increase your income. So in line in what I spoke to you about personal finance, I said to you that the income is necessary. If you don't have an income, you cannot save. So I'm going to end by saying, increase your income, find a way to save, which is an income, track your spending and you have more income, adjust your spending, you have more income, Set saving goals, you have more income. Save for retirement, you have more income. Manage your debt, you have more income. Create a budget, you have more income. It's been really nice talking to you. I love this charts, and I want for us to have more like this, and you're going to be seeing my face in other videos. For now, I'm going to say bye, comment, share. Let's talk about it, and let's just know what you think about saving money, having more money, saving for your children, and all of that. Bye for now. Peace out. It's D.